Hey guys, it's Jessica and you're watching the $10 Feast on COOKER, the show where I take your questions from social media and show you how to make your family a delicious, healthy meal for just $10 or less. If you're new to the show, I'm not a professional chef, but I am a real mom showing you what really works for my family. For today's episode, I'm going to take a question from Nathan on Facebook. Nathan asks, do you have suggestions for how to buy a few ingredients but turn them into 2 or 3 meals? I like to batch cook, but it gets boring. Nathan, that is such a great question. I love being able to take just a few ingredients and turn them into multiple meals for my family. One of my favorite ways to do this is to make an easy crock pot chicken with veggies and turn it into a soup the next day. So let me show you how to do it. For our recipes, you're going to need a whole chicken, 2 pounds of carrots, 2 pounds of potatoes. I'm going to use sweet potatoes today because my girls love sweet potatoes, but you can definitely sub for russet potatoes or red skin potatoes or whatever your family prefers. And then you'll also need 2 onions as well as 2 squash. So starting with our crock pot chicken and veggies, we're going to peel about half of our carrots and chop them up. I like to cut them into the size of about baby carrots. And then we are going to chop up our potatoes, maybe about 1 inch or so chunks. And then I'm going to put the 2 of those in a greased crock pot, and then it's time to put in our chicken. So I used to be one of those people that was really intimidated by cooking a whole chicken, but it's so easy. This recipe is really difficult to screw up. So you're just gonna lay your chicken on top of your veggies and get some olive oil and drizzle it over, maybe 1 to 2 tablespoons, just eyeball it. Then we're going to take some sea salt and some pepper and give it a good sprinkle of each. And then also give it a good sprinkle of paprika. These 3 things just make chicken taste so good. It doesn't need much more, but if you have favorite spices you like to add, like garlic powder or something else, feel free to use that. And then we're just going to rub everything in. And now let's go on to our onion. We are going to take 1 onion and then chop it into 8s, and then just kind of break it up and lay it on top of the vegetables and around the chicken. I find that this just gives the chicken and veggies a really good flavor, but if you don't like onions, feel free to omit this. It's not 100% necessary. Once everything is assembled in your crock pot, just cover and cook on low. My chicken weighed a little over 4 pounds and took about 5 hours to cook, but you may have to adjust the time depending on the crock pot you're using and the size of your chicken. Once everything is cooked through, serve and enjoy. Once you've had your delicious meal, it is time for the fun part. We are going to take our chicken carcass and use it for the soup for the next day. So we're going to debone it, take all the meat and separate it, and then take the bones, including the ones your family ate off of, and put them all back into the crock pot. Make sure to leave the juices in there. They add delicious flavor and you'll get some healthy fats from them. Another good thing to do here is to save the scraps from your onions and your carrots and toss them back into the crock pot as well so they can add additional flavor to your broth. Then we're just going to take some filtered water and add it to the crock pot until it's about 3/4 of the way full. And if you have some apple cider vinegar on hand, you can toss in a splash of that to help leach the minerals out of the bones. Then we'll cover and let sit on low for 12 to 24 hours. Once your broth has had the chance to sit and do its thing, it's time to strain it so we can use it for our soup. And it really is that easy to make a homemade, delicious, nutritious bone broth. Now we're ready to make our soup, so we're just going to take our broth and bring it to a boil on the stovetop. And while it's reaching a boil, it's a great time to chop up the remaining vegetables from the night before. So we're going to chop up our carrots and our potatoes and dice the onion really finely. That way the kids hardly detect that it's there in the soup. You can also do all your chopping the day before when you're prepping for the crock pot meal and just store everything in the fridge. That way it's ready to go. Once the broth has reached a boil, we're going to add our chopped vegetables, cover and reduce to a simmer for 20 minutes. While it's simmering, we're going to get our 2 squash that we purchased and dice those up as well. And after 20 minutes has passed, we'll add those to the soup as well as some leftover shredded chicken. The broth should already be pretty flavorful, but feel free to season with salt and pepper to taste as well as any other spices that you like. Then we'll cover again and let cook for another 10 minutes. For this episode, I really wanted to challenge myself and see if I could stretch my budget enough to cover both of these meals for $10 or less. So did I do it? The grand total is $9.47. $9.47! That's insane! It's proof that you don't have to spend a ton of money to feed your family well and feed them healthy, delicious meals. As always, I would love to hear from you guys on social media. Let me know your questions about eating healthy on a budget using #GuruHub, and maybe one of your questions will be featured next time. I'm Jessica, you just watched the $10 Feast on GuruHub, and until next time, happy feasting.